Today is our 1 year anniversary.
Praise the Lord.
Today is our 1 year anniversary. And as we were sitting at this table, we were talking about our story, something that we had planned on putting on video since the beginning.
Yes.
Because we think our story is awesome.
Amazing.
And so as we were sitting and talking, I thought about it. How it's almost as if I didn't have a chance to not be here with this guy.
Didn't have a choice, yeah.
I didn't have a chance not to be with him. As we were talking about it this specific time, I thought about how in the beginning, when I used to think about him all the time, I was trying not to think about him all the time. And I was trying not to think about him all the time because I was in another situation. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to be thinking about him, yet I was thinking about him all the time. And so I said this a million times. I started praying for him.
Yes.
Because, somebody following your heart, they say maybe you need to pray. So I began to pray for him. Pray for him all the time. Not just every day, but all day, because I was thinking about him all the time. So much that I decided to talk to my cousin Precious. Precious.
Shout out to Precious.
Precious
We
was with me
Precious.
Throughout this.
Prophetess Precious.
Yes. My prophetess who told me that we was going to be together. She told me he was my Boaz. I was like, what the? But yes. But anyhow, so Precious was the person that I spoke to. She's from afar because she lives in Texas. The person that I spoke to from a close was a lady at my church.
From a close, yes.
Was the lady at my church who I consider to be well seasoned in the Lord.
Yeah.
And I felt comfortable talking with her. We was at this time was hanging out quite a bit. And so I told her that I had been thinking about Deacon John Benton. And she told me that Deacon John Benton was going through a divorce. Then I really felt bad because I'm thinking about another woman's husband. I ain't trying to do that. So I said, well, Lord, maybe that's why you got me thinking about him and praying for him so I can pray for their marriage to be reconciled. So that's what I prayed for, reconciliation of the marriage. And so the other situation was still going on, but from the beginning of that, the Lord told me no, and I was being defiant. And instead of God's voice getting softer, his voice was getting louder concerning that, saying, I said no. Mm-hmm. And so I stood up and said to the other person, God said no, he's not going to bless this. He don't want that. We can't do that. So that was that. And so time's still going by. I'm still thinking about this one over here. And I spoke to the seasoned lady again, and she told me that he was divorced. And I was upset that she told me that he was divorced because I'm trying to say, I'm steady not trying to think about him. But then that made me excited that he was divorced. And I felt bad that I was excited about that, but I was excited about that. And throughout this time, the seasoned Christian was encouraging my relationship with this man.
Shout out to you.
And I didn't understand that because I just wasn't understanding none of it. I didn't understand none of it.
But it was like she kind of was God had also spoken to her in a sense then, because she had seen what she had seen concerning us, and she was expressing that to you. Go ahead, babe.
But I still didn't, because I didn't understand.
Right.
I didn't. I appreciate her. I absolutely appreciate her because she got, just like Precious got a big part in it.
She has a
huge
does
part.
Too. Yeah.
But at the time,
right, you didn't understand it.
It was uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
So, So anyway, one day she brought me home. We were sitting out in the car, and she was encouraging me. Because again, all along, she was encouraging this. And I'm not understanding, but now I'm finding out that he's divorced. I'm no longer in a situation. I'm like, okay, I softened to the idea because I always thought this one was attractive, sexy even. But anyway, so she was telling me how to pray about him. She wanted me to talk to the Lord and to pray about him being my husband. And even though on the one side that sounded good to me, on the other side
You smell good, by the way. But go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead. That was random, but
yes.
I love it. Go ahead.
On the other side,
Go ahead.
on the other side, I still was, funny about it. But like I said, I softened up to it. I came in the house and I began to pray. I I began to pray. I said, Lord, I don't understand what this is. I don't understand why he's on my mind. I'm not understanding none of it. If this is you, if what these two people in my life have said to me is true, then I'm giving it to you and I'm trusting you concerning it. And knowing that he had just gotten out of had a divorce, I'm thinking it's going to take some time for him to heal because he just had a divorce. And that's serious. And so I thought it was going to take 2 years. Don't ask me why I thought 2 years. I don't know.
Just
I
random.
just did. Yes, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years for him to heal and 2 years for the Lord to get me prepared. So as I began to pray, that's what I said. I said, Lord, I pray that you prepare me to be everything that he needs in a wife.
By the way, to all my single brothers out there, the woman you want to make your wife, you want to pray this exactly type of prayer you want to pray. You want your future bride to pray for that God prepares her to be what you need for her to be.
Yeah, because I've been married before, but I'd never been a wife. I was just a woman that was married. So that was the purpose of that prayer. Prepare me to be a wife. And I also, like I said, I've been married before, I've been in relationships before, and I was always choosing who I wanted to be with. But the people that I chose were wrong. I thought I knew what I wanted. I thought I knew what I liked. I reached out for what I liked, but they were all wrong. So after praying that he prepared me to be what he needs in a wife, I prayed, Lord, because I don't know nothing concerning this, you know me better than I know myself. You know exactly what I need. Then you prepare him to be what I need in a husband. Oh, and after I prayed that, I exhaled. It was weird, but I felt at peace. I was comfortable with that. I also told the Lord though, Lord, I ain't doing this like I used to do this. If this is really I'm asking that you have him come to me and share with me everything that you've shared with him concerning me.
So, okay. So, God reaches out to me. And I initially said I would not be a guy that was a deacon that was going after sisters in the church. That's wasn't going to be who I was. So I said no. And then she was already, like I said, she was involved. She was involved already. So I said I didn't want no part of anything messy. I wasn't going to be a part of that. Until the Lord spoke to me and showed me that April was my wife. But God being God, he not only showed me and spoke to me that April was my wife, he did something also. He filled my heart with love for this woman that I barely knew. I knew her from churches. Hey, casual. Hey, what's going on, sister? And we had little conversations and stuff like that. But as far as knowing her, I didn't know her.
He didn't even know my last name.
Didn't know her last name. So, but God filled my heart with love for this woman. So I was madly in love with this woman without really even knowing her. Scary. Supernatural, but scary. Because I'm already in this pocket, right? And I don't know where she at.
That's funny. You're scared and I was at peace.
Terrified.
But I was scared prior to that. Well, not scared. I was uncomfortable prior to that.
It's terrified being in love with someone and you're not sure if they feel how you feel. That's scary.
Yeah,
That
makes sense.
It's just scary. So I said, okay, Lord, how do I engage with this woman now? So how do I approach her in a way that's not worldly, that's not, and none of that kind of goofball player stuff, because I wasn't going to be that. That wasn't who I was going to be. I'm not that person. So I sent her a worship song, "Thy Will Be Done," a worship song. So I sent her the song and said, check this song out. It blessed me when I was going through tough times. And plus, her uncle had died. But I can lie. I can make it sound cool and say I sent her that song because of what her uncle going through stuff. What?
Yes. Well, let me say this.
What?
Okay. Yeah.
What? You ain't told that part yet?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
My uncle, my mother's brother.
Yes.
Needed prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I reached out to some at the church, him being first. I reached out and asked for prayer concerning that. And so 2 or 3 days later is when I got the worship song from him, and which seemed appropriate, didn't seem out of place, out of order or nothing, because I had just asked for prayer.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking.
So it seemed noble that I was reaching out to her through this worship song, "Thy Will Be Done," concerning her uncle in prayer. That wasn't what it was. I was trying to engage in her. Now, I prayed for her uncle. I did pray for her uncle. I prayed for her uncle, and her mom. For healing in her uncle at first, and then for the family to be strong. So I did pray for them, but I didn't send the song for that reason. I sent the song as a way to engage, a way to reach out to her, and just start open up a line of communication with her.
I like that.
Right. So, and I'm not gonna send her, a love song. Like, it's goofy. I didn't want to send her a love song, so I sent her a worship song because she's a singer. She has a beautiful voice, and I watch her worship God every week. So I sent her a worship song, "Thy Will Be Done." Told her the song ministered to me. So I sent her the song, and 2 seconds later, she sent back a response,
Not even 2 seconds.
Not even 2 seconds. A second later, okay, I'm listening to it right now, right? So she sent this. She sent that, and I began sending her music, worship songs, and she began sending me worship songs. That was it. And then it developed into a text message conversation. So we began having a text message conversation back and forth with each other. And it started getting a little deep, you know what I'm saying? To the point where I remember I sent her a song where, like I said, God's going to give you everything you want.
And when he said that, I reached out to my cousin Precious, oh, Precious, what do you mean? What do you mean everything? Because I already knew that God said I was going to be his wife. And I'm wondering, what is he talking about? Because he ain't supposed to know for 2 years, remember?
So what I meant was, God going to give you me.
That freaked me out, though. Yeah. That freaked me out because, and I remember my cousin saying to me, I was at work at lunch, and Precious was like, you and Deacon John are going to be shocked on how quickly God is going to reveal y'all, and I was like, I was all cocky. I'm at lunch at work, and I'm like, I ain't going to be shocked because the Lord done already told me. Now, that was June 13th on a Wednesday. I'm at work. After work, I go to church. He's at church for Bible class.
Right.
I'm at church for choir rehearsal.
No, it was that
It was
women's
rehearsal
retreat.
for the
Women's retreat.
praise team choir.
Okay.
Same
All right.
thing.
Yeah.
So we're in the same building, but we're in separate places. I know he's at church, right? I mean, in Bible class. So when our rehearsal is over, at that time I wasn't driving, our rehearsal is over, I was calling my daughter Harmony to come pick me up. I put my hand in my purse to get my phone, and when I pulled the phone out, my phone was calling Deacon John. I'm like, don't, because remember, I said, Lord,
On accident.
that was for real, because I told the Lord I wasn't reaching out to him. He was going to have to reach out to me.
Right.
And again, he was in Bible class. I was not going to disturb him in Bible class. And what was I going to say? I didn't have nothing to say to the man. So my daughter ended up coming to get me. And as I came home, I put my key in the door and my phone was ringing. And it's Deacon John been on the phone.
So now I was looking at my phone. I seen that April had called. I said, "Wow, this was the first because she had never called before. We had a text message relationship, right, via text, but we had never talked on the phone like that. So I said, okay, let me call her and let me see what's going on. I didn't know what was going on, so I called her, and I was at Walmart at the time buying my son's birthday gift. So I sat in the parking lot at the Walmart parking lot, and I gave her a call back. And we had a conversation, our first real conversation, which lasted
88 minutes and 9 seconds.
And 9 seconds. So during that conversation,
he said, I heard him say to me everything I wrote in my pause book.
Everything she wrote in her pause book that I would say to her. Now, I don't know nothing about this, but I was saying things to her during that conversation that she had wrote
my mind.
Right? And so I'm just now I told myself I'm gonna call her and let her know, but I'm not gonna give too much up. I'm gonna play it cool in my mind. I said I'm gonna play it cool. Got on the phone with this woman and I just told her everything. Told her about my life and what God had showed me concerning her. And I didn't tell her that I was already in love with her. I thought I would scare her off. That's too weird. But I did tell her that what God had told me concerning her and what he showed me concerning her. And she told me something that God just did a supernatural move in me. She spoke to me. She said, you would never be alone again. Right? She said that. And that was like, I don't know, it was everything I needed to hear. Right? She said that. And even to this day, I get misty and teary-eyed about that because I was lonely. You know what I'm saying? I was lonely. And she told me I would never be alone again. And so we had the 88 minutes. She shared a lot of things about herself. I shared everything I could think of about myself, me being cool. And so I hung up with her thinking, this is forever. This is my wife.
We got off that phone.
It's my wife.
I was at such peace. I was at such peace.
Yeah.
Because it amazed both of us.
Yeah.
It's like for him to share with me what God told me, and for me to talk to him and give him what he needed.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
But I was just when we got off the phone, we knew
I was it. She was my wife.
He didn't ask me to marry him.
I didn't ask her to marry her, but she was my wife.
Yeah, he didn't ask me to marry him. We didn't have to. He didn't court me. There was no dating or nothing like that.
She was my wife.
Just knew.
She was my wife. So I hung up the phone with her, and I was like, what just happened? Did I just get married?
And I hung up the phone with him, and I slept like a baby. I got under my covers and slept like a baby.
That was a Wednesday. Saturday, we're talking. I'm planning a wedding.
And telling us we got to get a house.
Telling her we got to get a house, we got to move. 3 days later, I was so sure that this, what God had spoken to me had manifested. He'd shown me through what she said to me that it was real. It was him. I was planning a wedding 3 days later,
And then
and
next
it
Wednesday.
felt natural. It was like, it was not rushed to us. It just felt like, this is my wife.
Yep. The next Wednesday.
The next Wednesday, I told her I'm going to set a meeting. I want to meet with our pastor, and tell him what's going on, because I know I ain't just doing sneaking around. I said, I'm going to meet with him, let him know what's going on. Let him know that what God had spoken to us and how this guy was moving. So, and she was like, we think he'll accept it. I was like, if he knows God, when I share it with him, he'll receive it. Right. So I had a meeting with our pastor and told him everything that happened up to that point. And me and him broke down in tears, weeping with joy of what God was doing in my life, because he knew the things that I was going through in my former life. Me and him been friends for 12 years probably. And he knew everything that I had went through in my life, and he knew that this was a supernatural move of God. So me and him were in there weeping, two big old grown men, crying, rejoicing in the Lord of what God was doing in our lives, right? He received it instantly. He grabbed it, boom, he said, I see it. He said, I see it. I said, I love this guy. So, and I said, this is my wife. He's like, I see it. So, yeah. So later on that afternoon, that after it was nighttime, because we was at church that day. It was a Wednesday, and we had to meet with him. Then she was at a rehearsal. That after rehearsal, we went to his office, and it was a celebration. Like, hey, we getting married.
Yeah.
And it was a celebration, right? And so about a couple of days later, we had I let him know, we still know that we were going to meet. It was going to be in June 4th. We're going to have a wedding in 2019 in June 4th. Now, mind you, today we're celebrating a year, 2018 September. I told him
it's 2019.
2019 is 2019. So I told him we're going to get married June 4th, 2019, because that's the first time I sent the song. I sent the song that we're going to celebrate that, do it that day. He was like, okay, cool. We went back. That was in June. We went back to him in August, saying, guess what, Pastor? We ain't waiting to June 2019. We want to do it now. He was like, wait a minute, pump your brakes. Which I would expect him to say as a leader, right? And our pastor. He said, I'm going to pray. And if God shows me this is what we're going to do, we're going to do it. If he don't show me something different, we're going to, we move a little differently. I told him, look, Pastor, this marriage is arranged by God. And God don't take a long time.
Yeah, we because it happened so quickly.
So fast.
Because I remember John saying we're moving
at lightning speed.
We're
doing forever at lightning
speed.
Yeah.
And because it happened so fast. Like I said, no dating, no courting. We didn't get on a knee and say, will you marry me, or
we
nothing
didn't
like
go
that.
through any uncomfortable stages of courting, getting to know each other and all that. We didn't go through none of that. After June 4th, she was my wife.
13th.
What did I say?
June 13th.
June 13th.
After June 13th.
She was my wife.
Yeah, so we had planned on getting married June 4th, 2019, because that would be like almost a year's time. And that just seemed normal, with everything happening so quickly. But then
we would give our families room to catch up.
Yeah,
to where we were.
But one day we were talking, and then it was just like, I remember asking him, why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? I asked you. Okay. I said, why are we waiting?
I thought I asked you, but go ahead.
I asked you.
Okay.
And then, whatever was said or whatever, and we realized we were waiting really for other people.
Right.
We were waiting for, it not to be uncomfortable. Well, it had to be
strange.
Yeah, because it was so quickly.
Right.
But God did that. And when God tells you something, you don't have to wait. You waiting for other people instead of doing, God made it very clear to the both of us that we were getting married.
immediately.
I mean, it wasn't, and the weird part about it, we kept saying, this is crazy,
Yeah.
because it was so comfortable.
So comfortable.
There was no awkwardness. There was
Never.
no, I remember the first time he came over, I was nervous while I was waiting, but as soon as I opened the door, it was like, this is where you're supposed to be. Like, it, so even though, a lot of people are saying this happened this year, came about so fast, I feel like
We had no beginning.
there was no beginning. We just were. We
Yeah.
just were.
Yeah.
No beginning. It's like, just comfortable. Just so comfortable in everything with the children, the blended
Supernatural.
family,
Supernatural.
it is amazing.
She loved my 3 immediately, and our 5.
We have 5 kids. Y'all believe I got 5 kids?
It was
Who'da thunk
supernatural. The love that I feel for her 2, for our 2, and the love she feels for our 3 was just, it's a supernatural thing, and and we were just reflecting on
That today
because we're celebrating
a year.
And like I said, we started celebrating a year ago. Though we started celebrating our anniversary a year ago, because it was just like, she's just my wife. She was born to be my wife.
Who'd have thunk it?
I was born to be her husband.
Who'd have thunk it?
And it was such a natural move. It was such a natural event.
Okay, it was natural once it was known, but it was unnatural. It was that was the purpose
until the conversation.
Yeah, that was the purpose of this conversation tonight, and how this video came about.
Yeah,
because
we both were saying no at one point.
How in the beginning, before we spoke to each other, thinking about each other, he was saying no to me without saying it to me. He was talking to himself.
In my mind. In my
and
mind.
I was saying no concerning him.
Yeah.
But then look at us now. And it's amazing because all the while God knew. It was in God's timing that he shared with us what he knew, and we agreed.
We live on the corner
Of peace and joy.
Of peace and joy. That's our address.
I love it
Even
here.
though, right, it's an awesome place to be. Please come join us. But even though, no matter what we face, because we're not perfect, we face the issue. We face the issues, but we always find a way back to our address, which is peace and joy.
And that's even crazy too, because listen, I ain't never. I'm so serious when I tell you, me in a relationship for a long period of time, I never did that. I never did that. Never did I do that. If I even thought about being somewhere for a long time, I felt like I was suffocating in my head. And now,
because I don't know that woman. The woman I know
will be with you until
will
Jesus
be with
comes.
me until our Lord and Savior come. We used to say forever in 3 days. Until we figured the terms out, like 60 years, we'll be like 120 years old. So we just say now, we said forever in 3 days. Now we're saying until Jesus come. And it's
funny.
just like, so we're celebrating a year today of our being legally married on paper, which is September 20th. June 13th. We had a conversation, and it was abundantly clear that this woman was born to be with me and to take care of me. She saw that I needed being taken care of. Well, I didn't even know that, but she saw I needed to be taken care of, right? And she said, "You will never be alone again." And I knew that my nature is to protect, provide, and be the priest for her that she needs. And the leader that she needs, and leading from a place of just loving my God. I mean, I just love my God, right? And she loves my God, right? And that was all I ever wanted in life since God spoke to me as a child, sent people to me as a child to let me know that I belong to him, what he was going to use me for and do for me. I just wanted a woman that would follow me as I follow my God. God gave that to me in April Diane Benton.
So the moral of the story
Is what?
The moral of the story, God knows what you need.
Yes.
You might think you know what you need, but God knows. And the thing about it is, though, and one thing that John would always say, he knows the secret to getting everything you want. Everything
Yes.
you want.
Yes.
And it's allowing your will to become God's will.
Mm-hmm.
Once your will becomes God's will, then everything you want, you're going to get.
That's the secret to every answered prayer. When your will becomes God's will, when what God says for you becomes what you pray for, then you have everything that you want.
Everything you want. So, you surrender to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Give your life to him. Trust him.
Mm-hmm.
What John also says is at the end of trust is peace. So, as you surrender to him and you trust him, because he is your good father, and he knows everything that you need, it's already provided for you on your path that he has already set before you were even born. You stay true to that. As you walk, you'll meet up with everything you need, whether it's for you, sir, your wife, or whether it's for you, ma'am, your husband.
Yeah.
But you got to stand for the Lord.
Yes. And we're going to close out, babe. But we have an arranged marriage, right? We have an arranged marriage in the biblical sense of the arranged marriage. I did not know this woman. When I went and had a meeting with our pastor, I didn't even know her last name. Because who she was, wasn't who she was. Right? She was going to be a Benton.
Whoop, whoop.
That's what it was. So when you allow God to lead the selection, men, because men, you select the wife, women don't go after the dudes. It's out of order. So brothers, when you select a woman, allow God to lead you in that selection process, and you'll be in this place that we're in. Peace and joy. I thank God for my wife every day. I celebrate my wife every day that my eyes open. I celebrate my wife. She is that much of a blessing to me. That much of a blessing to me.
I celebrate him. I'm thankful that I have a man who loves the Lord. As long as he loves the Lord, he's going to love me.
Yeah.
As long as he loves the Lord, I trust that everything that he is supposed to do, he will do because he loves the Lord. And that's just a peaceful place to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else is crazy.
So that's another moral to the story, brothers. Love your God, bro. Love God.